Here is a video of kind of 4 years in review of the making of my Dodge truck. If you want to see any more details or anything like that, just look at my YouTube page. I got like 76 videos of it, all ready to go. And here it is when I first purchased the vehicle. This is what it looked like. This is where it was at. And then then later on in years, I actually put it together. Just to see what it actually looked like, because it's never been together before. So these are just some shots of it just kind of hanging together, along with this one. We're over at a buddy's place, and obviously there's no engine in it. So that's what it looked like. Then I stored it there for years, and I actually pulled it out here in August of 21, and this is what it looked like when I was trailering it home, finally. And this is where it starts the 4 years of work on this project. You can see a buddy of mine, me and a buddy of mine, Bob and Tim, we unloaded it into my shed that I built just to kind of store it a little bit until I was ready to bring it into my garage to actually start working. But here's some more pictures of it. You know, bungee corded together because it really wasn't bolted together. So there's the ram that I had for it for years. It didn't come with the truck. I had purchased that separately. And I took it out here and I literally hosed off the inside and outside and kind of removed a few parts from it and left it in the shed like that. And I had got another set of front fenders. And here's the hood I had off. It didn't hinge, and now I got it to hinge. So after that, I moved it into my garage up in September 2021, and that's what it looked like. And this is when I started really looking at what I'm going to do with it and how I'm going to, tear it apart and everything. And so I got it down to the frame, and we let the work begin. Stripped it all down. As you can see, I've got the front axle kind of out of it there, and the frame is pretty bare. Now is what I did is I hooked up I filled in all the holes and things that I didn't need, and I sealed it like that. So the inside was all sealed. Then is what I did was I then boxed it after that. So inside it was sealed. So there's boxing it right there. You see a lot of the holes are gone now. Then I moved on to the box. Got the box was a problem. And I really realized that I had to take the whole box apart and rebuild it. So that's what I did. I took the frame off and I started building a frame for the box. After the frame, you can see I'm kind of squaring it all up here and leveling it out to the way the frame is. And then I cut the box apart. And that's what I was doing here, is just kind of cutting it apart to remove the sides from the bottom, because they were one piece originally. The seam was in the middle of the box, as you can see there on the floor. Then after the frame was made, and there it is, actually had a floor made for it, all in kind of one piece, exactly like the original, and heavy steel. So I got that all done, and then I had to cut and weld the sides on it. And so I just kind of tacked on some brackets to kind of hold it, clamp it and stuff. So, and that's what I did. That's how the box became a box. And there it is. Some of these are a little out of order, but it sticks together. And this is some of the body work done on the box. I filled the ends in so it wouldn't have holes where the riser was in the floor. I also did the supports like factory in thirds there, and some of the body work is done there. Then I finished it all up, and then there's the box, pretty much done and straight. Put the latches on the way I wanted to do it, and the hidden latches you can barely see there. And then that's what it looks like on the frame. And the fender and running board starting to go on. Meanwhile, I was also looking for parts, so I found some more parts. A grill that I didn't have. There's part of a center I didn't have. And this is the center I decided to move into fixing it. It was in several pieces, and I started soldering or welding it together. And finally came up with kind of the finished part there. And then I decided to put the truck together completely. The box was there, the cab, running boards, fenders. You got everything on it, and there's the centerpiece of the grill. And I brought it out, took a look at it. Actually had it on a trailer wheel on the front dolly, just to kind of hold it up, give you an idea. And so there it is. You can see it's all still in pretty rough shape, just stripped and primed. And all these shots. After this, I moved into the headlights. And there's the headlights right there. They're from a 36. I have a video on these a little bit, so I got them to work. I like the size of them. They're the smaller size. And I did a little work on the cab, fixing some of the rust that was in there. There was enough of rust in there. I did a lot of repair on the cab. I moved to all these. You can see some of the more repairs on the cab there. On the top, replaced the floor. That was a floor we ended up making. Me and a buddy of mine made. Put the riser in. I recreated that pattern in that floor. But and you can kind of see some of the floor on the bottom here. But anyway, you can see that I primed it all up and kind of moved on. So I moved to the doors. You can see the jamb I was working on right there. But here's the doors. They're actually pretty rough shape. And there's some rot in there that I had to take care of. And of course I had a weld on for some gapping. And I had a lot of gapping. It should gap for a long time, many different times. Here's the bottom section I had to replace on one of the doors. Actually, I replaced both bottom sections on the doors like that. Here it is. This door here was the worst of the worst. It was really, really, really bad shape. But I did get it repaired. It looks pretty good on the truck now. And see there's some more pictures of that. Then we moved on to the fender. You can see the tire I'm going to use kind of stuck out, and I wasn't looking for that kind of hot rod look. So, and you can see it there, and I took the front fender apart and everything too. But you can see the back tire there. And then I just kind of moved on to the cab, doing some more work on the cab, realized that the frame was bent. So here is the frame on the frame machine. It's getting straightened out, and I got it really good. I got it really straight. It was actually wide in the middle, so I actually had to squeeze it in the middle. And then I got the body back on, and it looked good. It fit together as it didn't fit before. So I decided to start widening the rear fender, and I widened it 2 inches. And in order to do that, I also had to widen the front fender a little bit. I just did a pie cut type of thing in there like that. And then I filled it in. I think it was 1 inch wider there, if I remember right. and then I had to make my own running board. And that's the running board you see there. And that's kind of it when it was kind of put together there. It's still pretty rough right there, but that's getting together. You can see that it kind of fits along. The rear fender's still a little long there, but that does get trimmed up eventually. And weld all the way down for the running board. I did some fiberglass on the running board to kind of seal that weld up. Did some priming, and that's what it looks like. Also had to then make brackets, made that inner bracket there. I made 2 of them for the back also, rear fender. And I decided to put a rear bumper on it. And then just kind of test fitting here. The other side I did the same thing, had to do some more patching and stuff. The fender was so warped. And then this fender I had to weld all the way around that spare tire well, because it was cracked. And then this is what it looks like with the tire on that side with the widened fender. I pulled it out to kind of take a look at it. You can see the tire fits a lot better in that space. And of course I had to finish up the other side. That's what this is. I moved into the hood, had that acid dipped. And so I primed a bunch of this stuff. There's the doors. I was stripping them again and doing a little body work and sealing and all that kind of stuff. And that's what the door ended up be like, although it wasn't finished. But it was coming along. You can see there's some marks in there that still need to be addressed. So I put the hood on. I started putting the truck kind of back together again. And there's the ornament on there with the grill in it. And then here comes, it was actually put the truck together like that. So now the truck fits. I know it fits together. And I pulled it out to get a good look at it, and there it is. Now that the frame is straight, it was amazing how much better that body actually went on and fit. I started working on the rear of it. I made the brackets for the lights, the brake lights in the back. I started working on a rear valance. That's what this is. I actually took the valance and I took that body line from the fender and I wrapped it all the way around the back like that. Then we went into some body work on the fender a little bit. I call it preliminary body work, but that's what it is. And then same with the front fender. You can see it's all gooped down there. It's not real heavy. It's just sloppy looking. And here is the front of it with the bumper on it. And there's the front suspension on a bench. I just kind of mocked it together just to see how it was going to fit before I put it on the truck. And here it is on the truck, or going on the truck. And there it is. You can see kind of both sides are done. And there is the brake in the wheel well there. And then I moved also then to the rear suspension. There's the rear suspension right there. And this is all airbag stuff, so it'll be kind of a nice ride. Put the panhard bar in, the shock mount, there's the airbags. You can kind of see that now. And there's just another angle of it. It's a Chrysler 8 3/4 going to be in there. That's the one. And so then after I got the suspension done, I pulled it outside. And this is the size tire I'm putting in the back, and that's pretty much the same size tire I'm putting in the front. So they're both tall tires, and that's kind of the way the truck will look. So then I moved on to putting latches in the doors. Those are the bear claws I'm going to be putting in there, and that's what I did. And it took a lot of cutting and welding to get those things to fit where they can fit. And I actually used the original door handle and the original door lock to make those work. And there's some of the fiberglass work that I did in there. the fiberglass filler work. And then I kind of sealed all that up too. That's why it's kind of the black around the door and stuff. And then I started doing some body work on the cab while the truck was still kind of together, and realized that I needed to take the cab all off. So that's what I did, and I started doing the body work on the entire cab. The drip rails had this body line in it, and I was just kind of finalizing that body line and making it kind of nice and clean again. And here it is primed up. The body work is primarily done. Might be a few little spots here and there, but it's primarily done. And that's what the cab looks like on that side and on this side. So the lock's only on one side, like it's supposed to be. And then I started putting it back together. This time I decided to put the truck together completely, and I wanted to make sure every single thing that I actually had would fit. So on with the box, the rear fender, the cab, the skirt that goes to the running board, and I put the windshield frame in. This is a different windshield frame than I had. It was bent a little. I had to bend it a little more. And then here it is sitting just kind of with the front end together. And this was January 2026. So my last part of this was the glove box door. And there that is. And then we were moving on to a walk around. This is what the truck looks like now, all put together. As you can see, it seems to be in pretty good shape compared to when I started. I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's got a long road to go. I don't have an engine in it or a transmission yet. I do have a mock-up in it, but it's not done yet. So this is it. This is the truck, 1937 Dodge. It's come a long way in the 4 years, and all the videos that I've made. There's actually been like 76 videos to this point. So if you want to see any other detail on this vehicle, look at my page on YouTube. Thanks for watching.